Hey, everybody. ScottoMotto. It's been a while in streaming, and I'm back to working on this horse pack Geo. It's been about a year on that. I get sidetracked with other stuff and start to work on a bunch of other stuff. And, but I want to come back around to this because it's probably not well known, but I'm originally from Kentucky. So the horses are a big part of my culture, of the culture, that I grew up in. And so that's why I have a special interest and fascination with horses. Now, first of all, I also want to apologize if you hear any background noise or whatever. Like most people in a quarantine, um, luckily, no one I know has been sick or anything like that. But I'm actually staying with my parents right now to help them because they're older, and we just wanted to stay together as a family unit during these tough times. So I hope everybody's doing okay with that, but I do apologize if there's any noise and stuff in the background. I can't really control that. But anyway, I want to get back to working on this pack, and I have evolved it quite a bit since our last stream, which I made a archive stream live. Live to the viewership yesterday, just so people could catch up if they wanted to. This is a technical stream, being it's not going to be really very entertaining, but if you're interested in pack design or whatever, then you probably will pick up some tips. And today I want to show you that I have evolved the pack. First of all, I updated all the mods to the newest versions to be 2847 of Forge, which is not the newest version, but it's been a very stable version for me. And I can use mods like the vanilla fix and stuff like that give performance enhancements. And we'll go over that a little bit. But now we have actually several different kinds of horses in the pack, which is cool. So there's been mods that have been added to CurseForge since then, and the important one is realistic horse genetics. Okay, and that mod's really cool. You get all these varieties of horse colors, and you can use genetics to breed them for different traits and all that. So that's really cool. I didn't want them to be all of the horses because I still want to do the hungry animals thing because I think that's pretty fun game mechanic, and they don't respond to the hungry animals programming. And I'll show you that a little bit in game, how that works. But so we've got a mixture of the regular horses, which are affected by hungry animals, the realistic genetic horses, and then I did add Animania as well. So we have the draft horses from Animania now, which can pull carts and do stuff like that, which is really cool. And then there's some of the Animania animals in as well, and they're mixed with vanilla animals. I didn't let them completely take over the vanilla animals. You can do that. I'll show you in the config. And that's a nice thing. And then I did go ahead and add very rarely spawning horses from the Wings, Horses, and Hoofs, the Ultimate Unicorn mod. So there's some unicorn type horses, flying horses, and stuff like that that you'll run across very occasionally. So I've got the World Gen. Oh, and by the way, also, I did add some horse mounted mobs. So there's the zombie horse spawn, and then there's the skeleton horse spawn mod. Okay. And so at night, mobs can spawn on horses, and I set all the balance for them to be pretty prominent in the pack. So the idea on that is that with the Spartan weapons and stuff, you can do jousting of sorts. You have, some of the weaponry that works good on mounted on horses, the javelins and all that kind of stuff, which should be pretty cool. So we just want to look at the pack a bit. The World Gen's in pretty good shape right now, as based upon my last streams. I haven't had to do a whole lot of work to get it in. I did have to make sure there was a better mix of meadows and prairies and plains, okay, because those are the flat things that we want, and we want them to be the predominant ones in our world. But for instance, this world here is a meadows world where I spawn in, and I'm still getting the data on the Minecraft horses. And then here's some Animania horses. Now I can get the jump height and all that on them as well. They do have the names. May want to turn down the volume a little bit. I don't know. But they'll spawn in a mix, which is pretty cool. So you'll get a mix of vanilla horses. I'm getting good performance at the moment. And then we do have all the flies and stuff in there. And so horses are pretty predominant. I've made it so that they have a high spawn ratio. It seems like that the Animania horses are easy to spawn. But to get them to mix with the vanilla, I had to like pull them down. There's one from the Realistic Horse Genetics. So you can see that they're all mixed in. They get the names. I don't get the stats on them, though. And the stats is determined by breeding, by genetics on that. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see where that one's from. I think he's a regular Minecraft horse. No, this is Realistic Horse Genetics. So you'll get a mix of the spawns, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, you'll randomly get ones, very few from the unicorn mod. So finding a unicorn and stuff like that is pretty rare, but you'll be able to easily, breed them. You can actually breed them with realistic horses and get a magical horse. I believe you might be able to with the vanilla horses. We're going to have to play with that a little bit more to see how it all works. But I'm really happy with the world gen. We can take a look at that again under the amidst overworld to see that I now have a bigger mix of meadows, which is what we're in right now. They have some trees, a lot of decoration. I'm not going to worry about this upgrade. You'd have to manually put that in there, I think. Here's the seed for it. And let's get an emits map here. And so, yeah, we could see that we have the hot band here. This is an arid highland. And then we have our cooler and warmer band. So it goes hot, warm, cool, and then cold. And so about 4,000 blocks out, you'll hit a band of cold. This is as much as I can zoom out in emits for Forge. But then it'll just repeat. So see, we've got a good mix of biomes. Like there's Rocky Plains. That's another one I added as a more flat one. Redwood Peaks. Here's meadows. So meadows are blue. There's a bunch of those all around. Let's see what we got here. Prairie is this pinkish deal. So it will spawn quite a bit too. Now it's kind of an ugly color. I may adjust the colors. I could show you how to do that too. Adjust the grass colors and all that kind of stuff. And then plains is mainly around the warmer band. It's a warm biome. So as you get out to the cooler biomes, it'll start to be more prairies and meadows and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy overall with the world gen, how it's doing. I may still expand this out. Another thing that I can do that I haven't mentioned in previous streams is right now the hot band's at 0, and again, this is kind of like a Terra Firma Craft layout, where at World Center it is hot, and then it gets increasingly cooler as you move out. Now I could shift these bands upward so that you spawned at 0 in a warmer or cooler. I don't know if I'll do that or not. It's just a little bit more predictable, but right now I've got spawns set out to be further off into the world. So you're spawning at 1,500 blocks out or so. So that's kind of the compromise on that. And we'll see how that works. But anyway, I'm fairly happy with the mix of mobs. Some things that I need to do is I need to go into this mob options more, this mob names, and take out more mobs that are getting names. Okay, so you can blacklist mod IDs or you can blacklist single entities. All right, so I've gone through and blacklisted all the ones from Project Vibrant Journeys. The flies were getting names and, all these things. And by the way, I've taken out pretty much all of the mobs that Project Vibrant Journey has, the hostile mobs, just because they don't really fit in the theme of what I'm trying to go for. I'm happy with having, the skeleton mounted horses and zombie mounted horses and stuff like that, just for the interest of the pack. I didn't want all the whatever their ghosts and stuff like that. Now I do have the butterflies mod in there too. That's just kind of a, a hobby, a sideward hobby that you could play with in the mob pack if you want. I've reduced the spawn of them a lot because they were spawning a lot. So they're more rare now, but there's a whole bunch of different colors and variations that you can get and collect and catalog and all that kind of stuff. So that might be a side thing. And then I've added the Gravestone and Gravestone Extended, but I took out its hostile mobs for the most part. But you'll get all these graveyards and stuff throughout the world and entities and all this kind of stuff, which is fun for exploration to do that. But as I said, I need to go through and get more of the mobs specifically that I want to blacklist from having names. You know, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Creeper to have a name or whatever. So I believe to do that, you just literally, you know, give the prefix Minecraft and Creeper. I don't think you have to do the entity name or anything like that. This would probably do it. I'll need to read the configs to know, but I do have these mods blacklisted for that. And so I'm just trying to control the naming more. It could affect performance probably a little bit on that. I was playing with some Optifine settings. I don't think they've helped me in this particular pack, like dynamic updates, fast math, render regions. We'll check and see if I get better performance, but different worlds have different effects. But, you know, we'll see. I think I have VSync on too now. Yeah, I have my max frame rate at 60. Let's go back to unlimited. Just so I can get an overall view of the pack. Now, you really only care if you're getting 60 frames a second. For the most part, that's all that really matters. If you're getting that much, then you're in good shape. But my stream settings are a little bit higher than they were in the past for encoding and stuff, and so I'm still playing with all that kind of stuff. But, okay, I'm pretty happy then, as I said, with the mix of horses that I'm getting. So, you know, let's just randomly try to create a new world. Now, I found it was much harder to actually guarantee that there'll be horses. This world I've marked with marked the seed of it because it's a good world. I still may include some world presets. We'll see how that goes. Just to guarantee horses, because it turns out it's a little bit harder than you think to just make sure that there's horses. I mean, I can have the proper biomes. I do have the spawn controller back in here to change the balance a little bit. You can see I spawned in a meadow. That's good. And I'm at 1427. That's a good range to be out. So it's likely that I'll have horses. I should have. You can't see I do have the chunk animator in here too. I figured it might help when you're riding and stuff. But let's see if I get horses right off the bat. That's what I continually test in this world generation. I just don't think it's something I can guarantee. I can just be sure. Now, it's a little bit harder to mix in other mob spawns too. So you're probably getting less animals than you generally would. But, you know, that's just the thing. Okay, so there's horses over there. And let's see our mix. So that's a Minecraft horse. They have the hungry animals, so they're going to be scared of you. These guys won't. That's from Animania. That's from Minecraft, Animania. You can tell their model's different Minecraft. This one's Minecraft, I can see. So you do get a mix, and the realistic ones are put in lesser, and that's on purpose. I want them to be a little bit harder to find. They're like longer term horse projects, you know. So like if you capture one of those guys and do some breeding with it, they're meant to be the stock that you work longer term with. And so you got a good variety of horses you can immediately put to work and do their upgrades and stuff. The Realistic horse mod does take, all right, so there's some sheep, so that's good. Sheep, it's weighted towards sheep more than other animals. All right, there's realistic horse genetics. Realistic horse genetics. They come in groups. So there you go. You know, you'd be able to find those immediately. So that's good. I mean, again, once again, if you spawn in a good biome, which you should because it's weighted toward that, these are the mangroves. The horses do spawn in the meadows and the prairies. I haven't had to adjust that. I could add different spawns to different biomes. I'm not sure that I'll do that. But here's, you know, meadow. And again, the chunk animator, the idea is that, you know, if you're riding, it'll look a little bit more natural and all that kind of stuff. Probably want to turn off fire spread. I can do stuff like that if I give default world types, or I can put in a mod that handles it. But anyway, that was, you know, just again, another good example of you would get pretty much guaranteed you'd get a spawn horses from the beginning, which is the whole idea. Now, other animals are lesser, but the idea is that you're traveling further distances on horses, so it's not that big of a deal to get to them. All right, so that pretty much gets me where I want to be on this first one. I've got updated. I'll show you some of the configs quickly, just so that you could get an idea of the settings that I made. Let's go to Animania, I guess, first of all. That's the main one that seems to control a lot of the spawns. So in Animania, you can set it to where it doesn't replace the vanilla animals. Okay. Let's see where that is. Yeah, replace vanilla chickens false, replace vanilla cows false, replace vanilla horses false. This one's true, false by default. The rest of them are true. So I've taken all those off. And then I've gone through and set their group size, lessened the chickens, lessened the pigs and stuff like that. And then you can go through and set each animal one by one. I haven't really done that. I think it's fine right now as far as my testing goes. These are other ones that I need to go through and change the mob names to where, you know, frogs aren't getting a name, and amphibians and stuff like that. Not everything needs a name. It's kind of silly. And again, I think it could affect performance a little bit. Because when you kill them, you can set them to actually drop a name tag. See, that's an important thing. So getting name tags is actually pretty easy, but you can quickly get overwhelmed with name tags too, just from having so many animals that have them. And so that's just the thing of, actually, I'll show you in another one how you can do it, because you can use tell me to list the entities. Then you can go through, I may have an entities list. This is from another pack, but this will show you the format anyway. It'll show you the list of the entities, and then you can go through and get their names and blacklist them out. So, you know, pretty easy to do, but it's just something that has to do. So I have lessened, I didn't see my actual numbers. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. So spawn limit, you could set the number of ones that are in a chunk. So I kind of kept that the same for right now, so I can have 20 of the horses in a chunk. Then the spawn probability. So I reduced a lot of them down, like ferrets and goats and all that. And then horses is up to 18. And so peacocks are pretty rare. They're pretty, but they're actually kind of annoying too. And I didn't want all the animals for you to have to, like, you know, do the Animania thing where you have to feed and care for all animals. Just the ones that you want. So, you know, I wanted a mix of the different animals. So that's the Animania one that we've done. We'll look at butterflies, for instance, just to show you how much I reduced it. Reduced it spawn weight down to 10, minimum spawn group 10 and 20. They don't seem very common now. It was like, I don't know, I think it was 80 or something like that. It was a lot. I mean, there were a lot of butterflies. So that's the idea. Is if you're playing that mod, you do want a whole variety of the butterflies, but I wanted you to be able to search for them. I'm giving you stuff to search for, and so that's another thing that I'm working on is origin. I have the mod in here, which is realistic ore veins. Now, I could use geolysis, but it's a little like, I don't know, a little too advanced in the names and stuff like that. Galena and all this. If you play Terra Firma Craft, you're comfortable with it, but for most people, they just want iron and whatever. They don't want to have to figure out the scientific names of stuff and whatever. So I'm going to try this realistic ore veins, and then in the same token for that, I can have the ore. Let's see. I don't remember what that one's called, but it's the markers for it. Realistic ore veins along with simple ore samples. Okay. And so that'll give you surface samples. Now I have to go through and configure the JSON and stuff for that to get them correct. But, you could see samples on the surface to know what's below you. And again, that's close to what Terra Firma Craft does. But it's good for this because you can ride around, and then when you have the project Vibrant Journeys mix along, which puts rocks and stuff on the ground that looks similar, it actually becomes fun to search for that kind of stuff. So that's the idea from that, and that still needs quite a bit of configuration to do. So we'll probably do that in upcoming streams too. One thing I do want to look at in this stream is the horsepower. Okay. So I've got a separate mod pack for that. I just updated it all. I haven't actually even launched it yet since I did the update. So I brought everything to the newest version, then went to 2847. So let's take a look at it. It's been a year since I've opened this, so I haven't even messed with this mod. But this mod's pretty crucial to what we want to do, because it's going to do your ore doubling and wheat production for doing a grindstone and all this kind of stuff. So it's a cool mod. Yeah, okay. Get that going. This is a small pack, so it'll load quick. I just have the horse carts in there, which horse carts are cool. They have a plow stuff. The realistic horse genetics is supposed to be able to handle that mod. For the horsepower, I may need to add it as an entity. It didn't say that it supported horsepower direct out of the box, so I'm not sure if it does. I know that the Animania ones don't, but I may be able to make them. But they have their own covered wagons and stuff, which is really cool. If you're going for, the old Western prairie type feel, which I am really in this pack. This is kind of a low-tech pack. So let's see what we get from that. Why I'm getting that icon. Weird. Okay, so it's like I said, you can see it's been over a year since I've even opened this. So this should update the mods and stuff. And I did have a practice layout, and I have done some practice play out and stuff like that just to see how it works, the setups and stuff. And I've gone through and configured some of the dusts that'll be produced. Let's turn off the daylight cycle and stuff right now. Okay, make sure the weather doesn't bother us. Okay, so it's a horse, and we have him on the grindstone. Let's go and get full screen. Yeah, we have him sitting on a grindstone, and then I have a hopper going in. So here's the dust. Now, these are from the pulver mod, which is what you're seeing right there. So I have iron, gold, obviously, copper, tin, silver, lead, aluminum, nickel, platinum, iridium, mana infused coal and charcoal and obsidian. I don't know about the pulverized obsidian, but I believe that you just take and simply, let's get some iron. Trying to remember how to do this. Let me get it to where I can cheat them in. Yeah, you just put them on there, and then he'll start walking around and grinding it. And then a hopper will pull it down. So that's really, really cool to be able to do that. So within that mod, power, we have a grindstone. We have a horse grindstone. So there's a hand crank type grindstone. I may remove that. Chopping blocks. And then a horse chopping block. I'll probably just leave the horse stuff in there and take out the rest of it. Horse chopping block. Horse press. Now that's going to like do fluids and stuff, I guess. Like honey or something, I don't know. We may need to put in recipes. But this guy will just keep walking around as long as there's stuff to grind. And that's pretty cool. Now it does use hunger and whatever. So yeah, I guess this is the hand cranked one. I don't know if I need a handle for it. Let's check that real quick. I'll probably end up removing them. Let's look at the configs for it real quick. Show you what I've done. So let's see. Show abstract. Let me see if I have to actually go. Let's see. So I could take out the manual chopping block. I'm going to do that. There's no sense in having it in manual chopping block output. Yeah, that doesn't matter now. Remove vanilla recipes. So you're removing the recipes for the reeds to sugar, bone to bone meal, wheat, flour. So everything I have to be grinded, and that's good. Use abstract horse is going to allow you to use donkeys and mules. And I guess anything that derives from that, we'll see if we can add other entities. Let's see, use dynamic chopping, wind up for chop. Yeah, here's the exhaustion for the animals or the player, I guess, if you're manually doing it. I don't know if the animals get them. Chopping block. So some of this I'll have to configure around. Enable the manual chopping block. Probably not. Let's accept that for right now. That's the client settings. So probably each one will have a different one. That's what I was looking at. Yeah. Okay, that was the general. Miscellaneous. Harvest types, acts, show harvest of, show or dictionary. All right, recipes is when I went in and put in chopping recipes. Okay, so I didn't add any here. These are just the Minecraft ones. I don't really have a lot of different planks. I may need to go in, and add like the other woods. Yeah, it looks like it's. We'll check the other woods to see how that works. So actually, right now, I may want to go ahead and leave this chopping block on while I'm testing. But let's see. I have gone through and put in the grindstone recipes. So these are the ones from Thermal Foundation. So I had to get the dust from pulver, and then I have it set out to, let's see. I need to get rid of these key binds real quick. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, let me turn off where I'm doing the right and left for full screen. Okay, so let's go back into that. And let's see what we did with the grindstone recipes here. Okay, so the Thermal Foundation now, if I remember it, this is the meta, and then this is what it's going to get, the output. So it'll output 2 of them. If I put in this material, it'll output 2 of them, so it'll double it. Yeah, we'll check that. Separate chopping recipes, separate grindstone recipes. Press is doing wheat seeds to dirt, leaves to fluid water. Okay, so you can have it do fluids, like press water and stuff. That might be cool. May need something like ceramics or something that has some, like, you know, more interesting immersive type pipes in it, rather than, you know, just, I don't have like any tech mods in here. That the idea is not to have tech mods. Let's check our output here. Stay out of his way. I want to see if it's getting to, yeah, see, so it's getting to, it's doubling the ore, so we should get 2 stacks from that 1 stack, which is pretty cool. And let's see his health. Now, I don't have the hungry animals or anything inside of here, so we'll have to test that to see, you know, how that gets affected, like if he gets hungry or if he can eat grass or stuff while he's doing it. But yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So this is the grindstone. Let's get that chopping block deal and see how that works. Just get some regular wood up here, oak wood. Okay, so that goes on there. And then do you need an axe? Get a regular axe here. No. Let's see if it's empty hand. I'm not sure how to do it. Might that just remove the wood? That removed it. Do I hit on the block itself? No. Chopping block. How do you use it? All right, let's go and look at that real quick because I really don't know. Let me get out of this. All right, what are we doing here, guy? Okay, I think I went actual vanilla full screen is the problem instead of Mac full screen. Let's set it back to F11. Yeah, when I press that assigned button, I set it back to regular, there we go, full screen. Okay, so it's weird how it took on that icon. So we're going to look at the horsepower mod, learn a little bit about how to use it. I've never used it in a pack before. I think it was in SevTech. I think it might be in Skyblock 4. Let's see. Yeah, it's one of those ones that doesn't tell you about anything. So I could use Craft Tweaker on it. So yeah, they're not even giving you any instructions. I know this does planks. Let's see if I go on top of it. Shifting, it's showing. I don't know if I have to be in survival. Let's try that. Let's try to switch to survival real quick. See how that goes. Some stuff, you know, just doesn't work that well in creative. And then I'm assuming it's either with an empty hand or a tool. Maybe I left click on it. Yeah, no, that's breaking it. Come on, guy. Okay, that's chopping. All right, so yeah, with the tool. It worked, I guess. Yeah, there's 3 planks. But then it broke afterwards. Let's try that again. I don't know if I can have off hands. Let's try that too. Yeah, that's chopping. It's awful slow for just 1 plank. I don't know why it's not advancing. Wow. Oh, I see. You don't keep doing it. You just click it 1 time. Okay. Yeah, you know, whatever. Not that great. I'll probably remove it. Let's get some grass here. See, I should have my... These are all little key assignments that I used a long time ago. Click box, middle click. Okay, whatever. Let's go back to creative. Just kind of getting my feet wet again here, guys. I never did continue streaming, so I'm not any better at it than I was then at all. All right. And this one was not really planned. It's just kind of, hey, I just feel like doing this for a little bit. All right. So this guy's done. Yeah. And so we got 2 stacks of iron from that. Let's try to hook one up to the horse chopping block, which sounds bad. You're not on the chopping block, brother. Don't worry. You're my friend. Looks kind of cool. Looks like there's one for each type of wood. Now this is from kind of schematic mod or something, building mod do I have in there? Or is it just showing the range? Maybe it does that. Yeah, it must show you the range of where the horse can work. Yeah. See, as you go to put it down, it's showing you the range. Okay. Get that. I've got a lead. I got a horse. So here's a horse. Lead. Attach you. Okay. Now you're going to be chopping. So grab you some wood. They won't do anything until you give them the item, it appears. This will just, I guess, throw it into the world since I don't have a hopper. I may need a way to feed it. Okay. Yeah. So let's basically try what we were doing there. It doesn't, I don't know if I can put like a whole, no. Okay, that's creative for you. Put him down again. Tether him to it. Okay, and not click on it like that. Let's try to put a hopper underneath. First off, get a chest. Okay, just okay, throw that down. Put the hopper into it. I don't know if I could feed with a hopper from the top because it looks like it's doing just one at a time. Okay, that. I don't know how to get more than one in there. Wind up. Okay, yeah, I pulled it. Okay. So let's try to see if we can't go into it. Should be able to, yeah. Okay, so apparently that needs some automation to feed it. Yeah. So he stops for a second till it gets pulled. Right. So from each one, you get how many? Four, as you normally would. Yeah. So you get 4 from that. Okay. So that's kind of cool. So the horse grindstone, we want to keep. The regular grindstone, I'd really like to get rid of. The chopping block, I'd like to get rid of. We might need it for crafting, though. Let's see. The recipe is. Not showing my recipes. Let me see if it's for everything. All right, stop that. Okay, R's not showing recipes. Let's see what's up with that. Show recipes R. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. Maybe this horse cart is taking it over. Probably it. Now the horse cart thing looks pretty cool. It has some kind of plow. Let's see if these are needed for crafting. I'm still not getting my recipes. Okay, guy. Keystrokes. They're a thing we need. This L, E. Yeah, you know, whenever you're configuring a pack, obviously you got to go through and set up your keystrokes. Need these for the vanilla. I mean, this pack has nothing in it, so I don't know why it'd be a problem. Show recipe is R. Let's see. Let's get a lead. Yeah, look, I'm not showing any recipes, guy. What is up with that? Let's reset it. Well, it is reset. Let's set it to R. Oh, I see what happens. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we do not need it in the crafting, so we can completely eliminate it. Let's look in this. Yeah, we don't need it in that crafting. So yeah, we should be able to go ahead and eliminate the manual ones as not needed in the pack. And then as long as I have the proper dust set up. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to add thermal expansion is because it has horse armor, as well as some like combination tools and stuff, and its own armor. You know, you get all these. I think there's like a Paxel or multi-tool, I think. I believe there is. Yeah, I mean, it's got hammers and all that, shields. I thought there was a multi-tool. Is that an add-on or? Yeah. So I believe there's horse armor. Yeah. So see, there's all these different horse armors. So that's kind of cool, and that'll give you more types of ore veins to search for and stuff. I would love to figure out how to make the horses. I looked into this briefly. I'd have to either write something or encourage them to write something or whatever. I don't know if I want to go that far. But there's this mystical mechanics API that's based on Ember's stuff. And it has axles and gearboxes and pipes and stuff like that. Kind of like what Better with Mods has. And there was a few add-ons for it. One of them connected it with, there's a crafter. It's not that one. It's this mechanical crafting. And then there was another one. Yeah, this one, Prodigy, which connects it with something else. But there was another deal too, I think, that connected it with immersive engineering, which I'm definitely not going to put in the pack. Mystical mechanics, mystical gears. Yeah, it did some stuff too. Let's see, gearboxes or whatever. But, you know, I doubt I'll go that far, but that would be pretty cool. Or tying it with better with mods, with its mechanical power and stuff would be very cool. Uh, but I just don't think that's the focus of the pack. It's not really tech that I'm going for. I think just the simple grindstone stuff would be fine. It's more about building farms and getting the horses up to you know, good levels. So stuff like this will probably be simple enough. And I don't think I'm going to go to great extremes to like make you use this stuff, but I think it is good enough to eliminate the manual versions. So let me just look at that mod options again real quick and see. That's the recipes for them. Separate grindstone, separate chopping. Yeah, I mean, I would think you would want to, right? Use a separate list of recipes. Oh, for the hand grindstone. I see what they're saying. Different ones for the hand and not. So here's the hand grindstone or the manual one. Okay, so that's what they're saying on that. This mod hadn't been updated in a while. It was actually kind of useful. So enable the manual chopping block. So if I got rid of those, we should eliminate the chopping blocks, which is fine. I'll do that. But there was also a grindstone. And I think I remember reading in comments now that people were asking to eliminate it, but I don't think you could. But I'd want to. So probably Craft Tweaker would be required. Wonder why they wouldn't give a config for that. That's kind of crazy. Because if you're going to eliminate the chopping block, then you'd want to eliminate the manual grindstone and stuff as well. Just so that you're all forced, since it's not using a crafting recipe. This thing's loading different, I notice. I didn't see that loading before. This is, if you don't know, that's an old page that's on Tumblr. Mojang, for some reason, had a Tumblr, and I know that Notch used it years and years ago. His very first Minecraft updates and stuff were on Tumblr, so maybe that's what it is. But that page actually comes from Tumblr, and you know, this is the legacy jar launcher, and so that page hasn't been updated since 1.11.2. So that's why you see this old news and stuff like that. Of course, now they do the native launcher, but here on the Mac, I can't use the native launcher in Twitch. It doesn't work. So it works on regular Mojang, but not from Twitch, or at least I hadn't figured it out. I hadn't worked that hard on it because I prefer this launcher anyway for what I'm doing here, which is just simple launch stuff. So if you don't know, that Twitch is a separate, it launches the Minecraft launcher, not the one on your system, but its own embedded version of it. So they kind of are lazy as far as that goes. So let's look at I must have hid JEI. Okay. Yeah, then let's go back to the horsepower and take a look at it. Okay, so we did get rid of the chopping blocks, but we still have this grindstone here. And I don't think I can get rid of it. Horse press, so there's not a regular hand press, it appears. Wonder why they wouldn't let you get rid of the regular grindstone. Because it doesn't require it in a recipe. Let's look at the configs real quick just to be sure it's not in the actual thing. Because I hate to have to add, you know, craft tweaker or whatever just to get rid of that. I can hide it in JEI. That's probably the easiest thing. Yeah, let's just hide it in JEI. And if somebody wants to go to the effort of showing it, they can. So let's look again at the horsepower config. Render amount, show obstructed area. Chopping multiplier. Amount of chops, the time value in the horse chopping recipe should be multiplied. So I could set the time, how much it gives exhaustion, I guess. I don't know if that's to the horse, assuming it is. Let me just search for grindstone. See what we got going on there. It should render. Yeah, that's what it's saying. Show the obstructed area. Yeah. So it's telling you, you know, you can't have obstructions in those areas or it won't work properly. Okay, so manual chopping block false. Yeah, they don't have one for the grindstone to eliminate it. And it's actually kind of easier to put in the recipes here. We can see the format better. So yeah, this is telling you the actual name of the item, the thermal foundation or 1 thermal foundation material 65. 2 is the output of it. And it might, I think this is actually a range that it may give you between 2 and 12. Is that it? Optional. Yeah, the chance. So the amount and then the chance that it'll give you that amount, I guess. The chance that it'll double. The chance can be 0 to 100. Parts optional chance can be 0 to 100. I don't know if that means an additional one. We were getting 2. We solidly got 2 for every single grind. So I'm going to have to do it manually, it appears. Like I'll just do it in JEI to hide it. It's probably the easiest thing. I could actually hide it in Craft Tweaker through JEI, but I think I'm just going to do it. Let's go into hide ingredients mode and then command to hide. All right, so that should hide it. And then once we get out of that mode, here, then it's gone. And that's saved in the config. That's probably fine. It's definitely the easiest way to do it. Than if somebody wants to go through the trouble of re-enabling it for some reason, then they can. But again, I'm not big on like going through huge convoluted coding and stuff like that to stop users from doing stuff that they may want to do. I'm more into just like encouraging them along a path that is ideal for the pack, but this is Minecraft. They can choose to play how they want. You know, that's totally up to them if they want to go through the trouble, you know, of re-enabling stuff that I've disabled or whatever, resetting configs and stuff. So I just basically accept it as that. Now this guy, the press, we're going to play with it briefly and just see how it goes. Oh yeah, so this is showing you the area that cannot be obstructed. So put it down and then we'll use leaves and it should output water. I'm not sure how it'll output it, but let's try, see what we get, see how that works. Get a horse. Okay, hook it this guy up to there. I didn't see a place to add entities in the config. Let me check that real quick. I thought you could. You know, from different mobs, I thought you could add entities. See, because right now it's saying use abstract horse. Must be edited with the in-game editor for live changes. Yeah. Oh, mob list. Okay. Add mobs that can use the horse-powered blocks. Only mobs that can be leashed are valid. Okay, so we should be able to go a full path to the mob class. Can be found with horsepower entity or HP entity. All right, so we'll want to do that. We'll want to go in and add the realistic horses mod to this, and then, you know, enable those to be able to be used. So let's go back to, I don't know why it's getting that icon. It's weird. All right, you guy, what you gonna do? So we're gonna make you do some leaves. Now where's the water go? Pressing 25. I'm not sure there's a value for this. I may put rustic in the pack, in which case it could be useful because you could press grapes and stuff like that. So rustic may be a thing. Okay, so it pressed it, but I don't think the water has anywhere to go. Let's see if we can get a bucket and pull it out. It was supposed to do water. Something's assigned to the C key. I think it did, but you know, in creative, water acts weird. Let's get this. Yeah, I took it out now. Let's give you one more guy. Looks like it's one leave. Does that give you a bucket of water for a leave? Could make like finite water or something. I don't know if it's worth it. It's not trying to be a hardcore pack by any stretch. Just trying to, you know, do fun stuff with the horses, basically. Give them a reason to do something. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah. So that gives me a bucket of water from a single leave. Not bad. All right, just before we go here, I'm going to look at that carts one and see there's a plow, a transportation. Now, the realistic horses out of the box should be able to be hooked up to these. Let's check out the plow. I guess I probably got to tame him first. Probably should give him some apples. But we'll do this quick. Now, those other guys didn't need to be tamed. Come on, love me, love me, love me. Oh, you stubborn guy. There you go. All right, so let's see what that does now. Okay. So it doesn't go in there. All right, so we must need to go behind. Really? Oh, I've got logs in my offhand. That confused the crap out of me. Okay. So let's see how we hook them up. Again, I don't know, so I'm just playing with this stuff to figure it out. All right. How do you hook up? Oh, that's cool. You can put the plow up and down. Can I ride on it? All right, let's just read real quick some stuff. You know, it's just easier to just see what they say about it. Attached and detached by pressing R. Oh, okay, so that was the keystroke. once while riding an entity with a cart nearby. All right, we're going to change that just for our temporary thing. It may not matter, but you know, once you have inventory sorting in and all this kind of stuff, R is probably not the best. I'm going to say Y for yoke would be fine. So let's see, Aster cart carts. Yeah, my command button's sticking. Watch that. All right, you guy, come here, over here. Oh, you need saddle. Okay, get you up here now. Go over here and push Y. Okay, that work? Yeah. So I need to put down the plow. That's up or down. Maybe I need to give it a hoe. I think it'll do a hoe or a shovel when I was reading it. I don't know how. Let's read that just to save time. Slow mode by pressing sprint once riding if it's going too fast. Cart. The plows are useful cart and has slightly repurposed. Not only can you put hoes in its inventory slots. All right, so it's got inventory slots to fill up to 3 blocks at once. But the shovels to turn dirt into pass. The dirt into pass thing is real cool. All right, so let's figure out how to access its inventory. There wasn't another key bind for this mod. So, there's, okay. So let's just give it 3. So you can determine the width, I guess, by the number that you give it. Okay, and I'm guessing it'll take all hoes. But this thing is real neat. All right, so put it down. There we go. Okay, I like that. That's cool. All right, so let's pull it up. Yeah, that's a neat bit of interactivity. All right, so let's try with the paths. Give it a shovel. And let's try to use one of the thermal expansion ones. Shovel. Oh. Let's just try bronze. Okay, it's not taking that. So let's try diamond. All right, so it won't take the thermal expansion ones apparently. Okay, that's a thing. Let's see if a mix of types. Yeah. So it doesn't care about that. That's the width, which is again super nice to be able to do that. Okay, so get on here, put that down, and path. I like that. Yeah, that's awesome for making roads. So I'm surprised it wouldn't use the other shovels. Not a big deal. And they said if it's going too fast, press the sprint key. Yeah, you can go into real slow mode there. Huh. I like it. All right, that's cool. So that'll work fine. Now I think, again, it works out of the box with the ones from the Realistic Horses mod, but we'll need to configure those guys for that. So in the pack here, I've got tell me I just need to add the Realistic Horses. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see what time we're at. So I've been streaming over an hour. So I think I'm going to call it for this one. I'm going to try to keep these things just around an hour of just, you know, basic stuff that I'm doing. Again, it's a technical stream. It's not going to be that fascinating and interesting, but it would be to the people that are developing packs or, you know, have interest in horses and stuff like that, which there is a kind of Minecraft horse culture. You know, equine, whatever, is that the word? You know, so we'll see. Anyway, it's a ScottoMotto, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to do a little bit more today as well. So we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.